Hi everybody, welcome to my Facebook Live. The temptation to indulge in Halloween candy is just around the corner. Are you afraid that you'll end up binging on chocolate? Have you ever told yourself, I'll just polish off the rest of this candy so I don't have to think about it anymore? When there's extra Halloween candy in the house, do you tell yourself, I shouldn't be eating this, but you do it anyway? With so much candy around this time of year, it's easy to eat too much sugar, candy, chocolate. And maybe if you have small children, your kids give you the chocolate that they know you like, or maybe they don't like it. So then you're tempted to eat the chocolate that you like. Or maybe you purposely buy candy you love so that if there is any left over from the trick-or-treaters, you can eat it yourself. I know I was guilty of that. I would buy the big Reese's Pieces and the big Kit Kats because we would only get like 5 or 6 trick-or-treaters. And the kids could choose whether they wanted a Kit Kat or a Reese's Pieces. And then when there was candy left over, of course, in the next few days, I would eat it all. So I think we can all relate to that, of just feeling out of control around chocolate because it tastes so good and it triggers those happy feelings in our brain so that we want to eat chocolate to get that nice feeling. So these habits or these patterns, craving chocolate, or once you start eating it, maybe not being able to stop after a few pieces or a few bites, is the result of unresolved negative emotions that are stored in the body from the past. It's what we call emotional baggage. And these trapped emotions or the emotional baggage are triggering your cravings or an annoying eating habit where you start eating the chocolate and you just can't stop until it's all gone. We've all been there, right? So hi everybody, I'm Juanita Ecker, certified emotion code and body code practitioner. Today's topic is, can the emotion code help you eliminate a specific candy completely from your life? Since Halloween is next week, I thought it would be fun to let people pick a specific candy that they would like to get rid of, and I'll show you how it can be done with the emotion code. So what would it feel like to completely eliminate a candy that you crave or that you eat too much of? For most people, that would be a good thing. That would feel good. If I told you that it can be done without you feeling deprived or having any or needing extreme willpower, would you believe me? Probably not. But the cool thing about the emotion code is once you release the trapped emotions that are causing the cravings or the desire to overeat it, you just don't desire it anymore. So I'm going to show you how to delete these cravings within minutes. If this sounds crazy, stick around. I'm going to use this simple refrigerator magnet and the emotions off of the emotion code chart. I did not invent this. The technique I'll be using today is called the emotion code. And this was invented by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And he was a chiropractor, and he began to wonder why people would have the same symptoms every week. They would come back and it just wouldn't go away. And he began to wonder if maybe there was emotional baggage or stored trapped emotions that were causing the same symptom or the same behavior all the time. And sure enough, there was. So he ended up developing this technique called the emotion code and then also the body code. So he wrote this book called The Emotion Code, and it says, how to release your trapped emotions for abundant health, love, and happiness. And the Emotion Code book is about 3 years old, and Tony Robbins wrote the foreword on this book. And the cool thing is, Dr. Bradley is helping people all over the world with this technique, and I was certified by Dr. Brad. So today, I'm going to help you delete a Halloween candy. Now, for my Facebook viewers, I have a free gift. Are you someone who's an emotional eater or drinker? Are you someone who feels like you lose control around chocolate or sugar or chips? And maybe you've always wondered if you are an emotional eater. Let me tell you a few of the things that may contribute to you having issues with food as an adult. If you grew up in a household where you were forced to clean your plate, or you had to eat it all if you wanted dessert, or you were punished and sent to your room if you didn't like what was served. Okay, that could be one thing. There are many things, but I'm going to list like 3 or 4 that can impact you as an adult, that affect your issues with food. If you when you were a teenager, you started looking at the young teenage magazines, and you see these young girls in the magazines, and you think, I don't look like that. So then you start to develop an obsession with your body image, maybe your weight, and you start to hate yourself because you can never look like those teenage models look. Or maybe you had a mom that was always on a diet, and she constantly criticized how she looked. So she was modeling for you that you need to starve yourself or you need to abuse your body to look good. And so there are lots of factors that contribute to emotional eating issues. And this free gift is a 4-page brochure. It's called The Ultimate Emotional Eating Assessment. When you open it up, there are 25 things that I list that may be triggers for you of why you would engage in emotional eating, or maybe you've had a tough day, or you feel overwhelmed, or you feel stressed. And the first step in any healing journey is to identify when you do something and why you do it. So this assessment is really phenomenal. The people that have gotten it just love it. I've gotten rave reviews about it. And so to get this free gift, go to theshiftingsand.com/free gift. That's theshiftingsand.com/free gift. Great. Okay. Let's see who's here. My friend Hannah is here. Hannah says she can relate to that, okay? That she often went on the cabbage soup diet. Okay, so maybe she was a teenager or a young woman going on the cabbage soup diet. Okay, she says, I even have a chart to pair wine with leftover Halloween candy, which I usually do all in one sitting. Okay, so Hannah has a tendency to kind of eat the candy to make sure it's all gone so that she doesn't have to think about it anymore. We can all relate to that. Okay, great. And Hannah says she would like to volunteer. She wants to get rid of Snickers. She has a soft spot for Snickers. Okay, good. So we'll get to that in a minute. Let me share a few success stories with you before we get started. I worked with Cheryl, who always craved chocolate ice cream, and she just didn't want to eat the chocolate ice cream anymore. I did a clearing on her, and right after the clearing, she went and bought a chocolate ice cream, and she said it didn't taste good. She couldn't even finish it. She was worried that it would be temporary, that what I did would only work for a week. So a week later, she went and bought another ice cream, chocolate ice cream, and it didn't taste good. She couldn't finish it. And to this day, Cheryl has not had any chocolate ice cream. So she is thrilled that she no longer craves the chocolate ice cream. We got rid of all of the emotional baggage that was causing her to crave it. I worked with Catherine, who wanted to give up solid milk chocolate. If she had it in the house, it would call her name, and she'd have to go eat it. After the clearing, she bought a piece of chocolate. She wasn't tempted to go smell it or taste it, and she said, I'm just not interested in it anymore. So that's really cool. So in addition to food, the emotion code can work on an amazing number of things. I had a woman who had extreme discomfort in her heel, and she had this pain for about 5 weeks. She came to me, and the discomfort level was at a 6. After the first session, we got the level of the discomfort from a 6 down to a 2. Then she came back the following week, and we got the discomfort down from a 2 to a 0. So it's really amazing what the emotion code can do for physical challenges in the body. I worked with a dog, and yes, we can work with animals. Sweet little dog. I love working with animals who would get so nervous in the car. And her owner drives from Michigan to Florida every year and would have to give her tranquilizers. I did a couple sessions on the dog, and now she doesn't get nervous. The dog is happy, the owner's happy, everybody's happy. So it's very rewarding to work on behavioral issues for animals. I worked with a young woman who really struggled with procrastination and lack of motivation. She wanted to complete a dog trainer program, but she just wasn't motivated to do the work. There was a lot of unresolved emotions from her past that were stopping her from taking action. So I worked with her, and eventually we cleared all of the negative energies that were stopping her, and I'm happy to report that she's now a certified dog trainer. Okay, so think of something sad, scary, or traumatic that happened, and it could be yesterday or it could be years ago. And when you think of that event, what emotion comes to mind? Were you sad? Were you scared? Were you anxious? Is it grief? And when you think of that emotion, give it a number on the 0 to 10 scale. 0, it's not there at all, and 10, it's at the worst. The fact that you could give this emotion a number means it's still stuck in your body. And this is what we call a trapped emotion. It's an emotion that's never been fully processed and released. And these trapped emotions can affect you on many levels. They can cause physical challenges. They can affect the choices that you make in life. And it also can impact how you respond to certain situations in life. So it's really important to get rid of these unresolved negative emotions that are kind of stuck in the body. So if you volunteer, there's no embarrassment. You won't have to reveal any details from your past. I will identify the emotion off of the emotion code charts, and I will delete it within minutes. When I run the magnet over the governing meridian, that neutralizes the frequency of the emotion, and every emotion has a different frequency. So how does this work? You know the expression, we're all connected. Pretend there's a great big thread or an internet web. And when I work with a volunteer or I'm working with my clients, I get her permission to access her subconscious mind. It's like her Wi-Fi. And her subconscious mind, it knows everything. It knows what happened. It knows when it happened. And it also knows what emotions are causing the cravings or the desire to eat the entire bag until it's gone. So my job is the mechanical connection, because you can only ask the subconscious yes or no questions. And my skill is asking the correct questions so that I get the correct yes or no answer. So when I use the muscle testing, the kinesiology, you may have heard of that before, and I use this ring and ring method, and when my fingers are together, that's a yes, that's strong. When the fingers come apart, that's weak, that's a no. So when I become a proxy, I connect to the volunteer or the client, and my body kind of pushes itself aside and knows that once I connect to this other person, the muscle testing that I'm doing, is for them, not for me. So when I become a proxy, I will ask her subconscious questions. I'm not guessing at anything. I'm not psychic. Her subconscious mind is telling my subconscious mind when to lock for a yes. I've helped a lot of people with this technique. It may appear very weird, but it really works. Okay, so if you want to volunteer, give me permission. Write down the item that you want to delete, and don't say chocolate, because chocolate is in lots of things. You need to be very specific of what you want to delete. And then after I do the clearing on you, give us a comment. Let us know what you felt during this session. Okay, so I know Hannah wants to volunteer. And if there's anyone else that wants to volunteer, you can write it in the chat as I start to work with Hannah. Okay, Hannah, have some water. It's important that both the practitioner and the client be well hydrated during this process. Okay, let me take a minute to connect with Hannah. Okay, my name is Hannah. My name is Juanita. So now I have a strong connection with Hannah. My name is Hannah. Good. Wants to get rid of Snickers. Snickers bar. And what is the severity for Hannah to want to eat it whenever she sees them, or to eat more than she should when she is eating it? Is this a 10? Yes. Okay. My goal is to get this down to a 0 today, so we'll see what happens. Okay, Hannah, we're about to change your life. All right. How many trapped emotions? And what I'll be doing is I'll be asking, is it on the left? Is it on the right? Is it odd numbers? Is it even numbers? And eventually I narrow it down to the exact emotions that are triggering Hannah to always want to eat the Snickers bar. Okay, how many trapped emotions? There's 10. Good. Row 2. Okay, good. We set the intention to release the trapped emotion of anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, worry, failure, helplessness, hopelessness, lack of control, low self-esteem. Good. Okay. Are there any absorbed? Yes. Okay. Is it more than one? No. Just one. On the left. Odd numbers. B2. Is it failure? Helplessness? Hopelessness. We set the intention to release absorbed hopelessness. Good. Okay. Are there any stress related? How many are there? 5. Okay. Column C. Column B. Odd numbers. B2. B4. We set the intention to release the energy of abandoned, sadness, blasphemy, frustration, and resentment. Good. Are there any hidden? Yes. How many? 1, okay. Odd numbers, 8, 2. Is it anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness? We set the intention to release the hidden emotion of nervousness. Are there any inherited? No, okay. Is there vibrational resonance? Yes. Are there 5? Okay. Odd on the right, odd numbers, be 2. We set the intention to release the vibrational resonance of failure, helplessness, hopelessness, lack of control, low self-esteem. Is there a prenatal? No. Is there a compound? Yes. On the left, is it odd numbers? Is it row 2? Is it failure? Helplessness is the first one. And lack of control. We set the intention to release the compound of helplessness and lack of control. Okay, there's another compound. Column C, column B, odd numbers, B2, B4. Is it abandoned, sadness, blasphemy, frustration, and resentment? We set the intention to release the compound of frustration and resentment. Okay, good. Is there an inherited compound, a prenatal compound, an absorbed compound? Okay. All right. Column C, column B, odd numbers, B2, B4. Is it abandoned? Sadness? That's the first one. Blasphemy, frustration. We set the intention to release the absorbed compound of sadness and frustration. Good. Is there a heart wall emotion? Yes. How many? Are there 5? There's 10. Row 1, row 2. We set the intention to release the heart wall emotion of anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, worry, failure, helplessness, hopelessness, lack of control, low self-esteem. Okay, there's some heart wall emotions on this other chart. Is there 1? Okay. Odd numbers, B2, B4. Is it abandoned? Okay. We set the intention to release the heart wall emotion of abandoned. Are there any absorbed heart wall emotions? No. Is there a compound heart wall emotion? Yes. On the left, is it odd numbers? B2. Is it failure? Hopelessness? Is the next one hopelessness and hopelessness? We set the intention to release the compound heart wall emotion of helplessness and hopelessness. Good. Is there a vibrational resonance heart wall emotion? No. Is there a hidden heart wall emotion? No. Okay. Is there anything else? Is there an inherited heart wall emotion? Yes. Okay. Okay, is it on the left? Is it odd numbers? B2? Is it failure, hopelessness, hopelessness again? Was this from the mom? No, from the dad. Okay. We set the intention to release the inherited heart wall emotion of hopelessness coming from the dad, being passed down to Hannah. Good. Is there anything else contributing to Hannah's extreme craving to eat the Snickers bar whenever she sees them, to buy them, to eat them when they're left over from the Halloween candy? Is there anything else left? No. What was the severity when we started? Was it a 10? Yes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yay! I just love this work. It's very gratifying to do something like this for someone. So let's see how many trapped emotions we cleared for Hannah. Okay, 10, 20, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 38 trapped emotions. Wow. So Hannah, let us know if you felt something during the presentation, during the clearing. Some people feel tingling. Some people feel energy moving through their body. Some people yawn. Some people feel tired. So thank you, Hannah, for being a volunteer, and make a little comment of what you noticed. And I can't wait to hear if in the next couple days, if you're not tempted to eat the Snickers bar, or if you do eat it, maybe you'll just have a couple bites and then you'll say, I don't need any more. Great. So that took about 12 minutes to release 38 trapped emotions for Hannah. So it's amazing what the emotion code can do for you if you book like a 30-minute session. We can really focus on your challenges. So let me see some of the comments here. Okay. Hannah said, feeling tingles all over, a very calming feeling. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Hannah. My friend Holly is here, and Holly says, hi, Juanita. Good presentation as always. Thank you, Holly. Hannah says, wowzers. She said, I felt tingles. I'm very relaxed. Okay, good. So it'll be fun to see what happens for you, Hannah. Hannah says, I have a feeling of what age those emotions happened. Okay, that's what's nice about the emotion code. Sometimes the body will ask me to identify the age, but that's usually all I have to identify. It's not like I have to ask the person to relive the details from the past or to be embarrassed sharing something that was uncomfortable that happened to her in the past. So great. So Hannah will be all set for Halloween. She'll be able to resist those Snickers bars. Okay, let me disconnect from Hannah. Disconnect from Hannah. My name is Juanita. My name is Hannah. My name is Juanita. Okay, good. All right. Type yes if you saw something new today, or if you learned something new, type yes. Okay. If you just joined us, I have a gift for my Facebook viewers. It's called the Ultimate Emotional Eating Assessment. And maybe you've had issues with food, or maybe you grew up being forced to eat what was on your plate, or maybe you had a mom that was always on a diet and constantly criticized her body or how she looked. Or maybe as a young teenager, you started reading these magazines and you thought, I don't look like that. And then you started to develop self-consciousness about your body and your weight, and you started not to like your body. So this eating assessment is amazing and will help you identify the triggers that are causing the emotional eating behaviors or extreme cravings. It's a 4-page brochure, and there are 25 things listed that you can check off to help you identify what triggers your emotional eating. To get the free gift, go to theshiftingsand.com/free gift. That's theshiftingsand.com/free gift. Okay, good. Hannah says, yay, thank you. You're very welcome, Hannah. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, if there's anyone else that wants to volunteer, just type it in. I'll give you a few minutes before I close. I worked with a man who always responded with anger. And if someone would cut him off, he would, yell at them, give them the finger when he was driving. And so he came to me and we really worked on his anger. And because he always quickly responded with anger, he had a new girlfriend, and instead of having a nice conversation when they had a disagreement, it would always escalate. And after I worked with him, he said, you know what, Juanita, I don't do that anymore. People cut me off and I say, oh, well. And then now my girlfriend and I, we can sit down and talk. So it was really, really nice to get rid of this habit to always react with anger for this man. I worked with a woman whose body always reacted negatively with dairy. And here's a situation where we wanted to add a food instead of take it away. She wanted to keep the ice cream. She loved the ice cream, but she would get bloated or gas. And so we released all of the negative emotions, the trapped emotions, the emotional baggage that were causing her body to react this way. Excuse me. And now she can eat the ice cream, so that's nice. I worked with a woman who is a holistic doctor and couldn't find a job she loved. There were a lot of blocks, a lot of subconscious sabotage blocking her from bringing in money and abundance. And I worked with her for a few months, and I'm happy to say that now she's getting a couple different job offers. So it's very gratifying to be able to do these kinds of things for my clients. So you saw what I could do in about 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes with Hannah. So you can imagine what I can do when I work with you in a private session. And I don't need to see you, just like I didn't need to see Hannah today. I do all of my sessions on the phone. And for my international clients, I use WhatsApp. So you might be thinking, I really would love to give up this particular food, or I would love to give up chocolate, or I would love to give up bread. I would welcome the opportunity to work with you. I send you a checklist so you can check off the things that you want to work on, and we make it very easy. You can be home, you can be relaxed, and we do the session. So to book a session with me, go to theshiftingsand.com. That's theshiftingsand.com. You can send me an email, and we can set something up. Okay, well, I hope you learned the power of the emotion code today, and I hope you learned something new. Thank you for sharing a part of your day with me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, bye now.